Hello Bournemouth fans, Cherry's Red Army YouTube channel, and in this latest video we're going to react to the FA Cup quarter-final draw, and to help me do this I'm joined by Dan. How are you?
I'm very good, mate. How are you?
Yeah, not too bad. So thanks for joining me on this, and we're going to try and bring up the draw and hopefully catch it live and react to it. Before we do that, what's your thoughts on our result on Tuesday against Burnley, a 2-0 win away?
Yeah, it was quite a surprise. It's the first time in a while that I've really enjoyed watching a Bournemouth performance. I think I was really impressed with Ben Pearson. Really impressed. I think having someone that is going to do the dirty work and going to do the basics very well. You know, it reminds me of Harry Arter. So very impressed with him, and looking forward to seeing what he can do in the future. But it looks like we're starting now.
Yeah, it's already going away. I was hoping to come on a bit earlier and talk some about the draw, but we can discuss it afterwards. But you can see the ball numbers below. Some big teams in there, Dan.
Yeah, I feel inevitably we're going to get Man City. it just feels inevitable, doesn't it? Because we're realistically going to be the last Championship club in it. I think Chelsea are going to beat Barnsley. Everton
away. So the last time we went to Everton, we did win on the last season. It wasn't enough in the end.
What ball's number is this? It is us.
No, Man City. 7.
Oh, is that
7?
Oh, I thought
Man City.
My eyes are...
So, right, now we can relax a bit now. Everton Man City is the first teams out.
Yeah.
Karen Carney's not...
Okay, here we go.
At home.
Here we go.
At home. Karen Carney's wasting no time in picking these balls out. We're at home too.
For Southampton. Wow. Okay.
Get in.
I'll
take that.
Yeah.
Bournemouth against Southampton. I'll tell you what, I'll take that. We'll let the rest of the draw go on as well. But
Leicester.
Yeah, I mean, you know, I know it's not going to be for a while that we play them, Dan, but they're not in a great run of form. They've got a good result tonight against Wolves, but you know, I fancy us to have a chance. It is the FA Cup.
Yeah, no, I mean, as they say, anything can happen in the FA Cup. And, you know, you can't complain about a game in the FA Cup against Southampton, really, can you? Especially at home.
We will have to deal with Danny Ings, though.
Oh, yeah, not Danny Ings. That was in my reaction video where he scored that goal. I'm optimistic though. I think that we can get a result. I think this will motivate the players. We've got a good chance against a Southampton team that, you know, despite their 2-0 win today against Wolves, aren't in brilliant form. Are they going to be focusing more on the league? Probably not at this stage. They'll probably put out a half-decent team, but equally we'll put out a strong side, and I'm feeling optimistic, yeah.
So here's the full draw then. It's Everton versus Man City, AFC Bournemouth at home at the Vitality versus Southampton, Leicester against Man United, Barnsley or Chelsea, which are due to start very soon, against Sheffield United. So, yeah, that's quite a good draw there. The Manchester teams have been split as well. So there's a good chance if you get to the semis, you might end up playing a Manchester team.
Yeah, I mean, let's say we did manage to beat Southampton. Presume that Man City win. That'll be us, Man City, realistically Chelsea, and probably United, which not easy, but it means a big game. And it would be more TV money, which is good for the club at this point. But yeah, are we going to go for an early score prediction before?
Or I just fancy us, you know. I think, you know, we've had a really bad spell in January. You know, we've played well since Woodgate's come in. We played well. We got a result against Birmingham. We didn't play very well, but we played very well the other night against Burnley. I can't remember the last time we played that well, where we were solid. The energy was on the pitch for 90 minutes. Yeah, I was so happy with our performance on Tuesday. So happy.
Yeah, I think it was, as I previously mentioned, obviously we had to rush it a little bit, but having Pearson there just allows the rest of the midfield to have a little bit more freedom, and especially Billing, who I don't think he really wants to do his defensive duties, but it lets him really express himself in attack. Like that flick off the back, like that's Philip Billing. How's he done that? Like and Sam Surridge, I think I really want him to start a league game again, because he's deserved it every time he's played. has he not been one of the best players on the pitch for me anyway? I don't know if you'd agree, but I think he deserves some more game time in the league.
Well, you've said it before. Every time he's come on, he's made an impact. When he started, he scored goals. He set up the goal for Junior Stanislas when we beat Wickham 1-0, but he never seemed to get rewarded for those performances, which was always a bit strange. So I think he'll play again Saturday, but definitely he makes a difference, and he's a trier, and he wants to show himself. He's a young footballer. But he's doing all the right things. He gives us an impact from the front. He presses from the front, and he'll just run down lost causes. And that's something we don't have in our squad, I think.
Yeah, I mean, we just got some news in about an hour ago that Asmir Begovic has been injured as well, and we've had some Travers. What do you think about that?
Yeah, that's. I did see that news, and I've also seen that it might be just a slight injury. The thing with Travers is, I still believe in Mark Travers. I think he had a bad opening day against Blackburn, but I do think the talent's there. Where he can take that talent's another question. But I do think there's a good goalie in there. He had a good game against Tottenham in the Premier League, but he's never really sort of brought that form back in any other games since then, has he? But
he's been doing. I think because Swindon fans were a little bit gutted that he'd been let go. So clearly he's been putting in some good performances, and he's probably got some confidence from a bit of actually playing first team football consistently. And pardon the pun, but I don't think it is a travesty that he's coming back at all.
So 1 win away then, Dan, from going to this place for the second time in our history. Do you think there's a chance that somehow we could end up actually going if we get there?
Oh, I just don't see any fans at all this season. Unfortunately, I just don't see it. It would be so good if we. What a moment in our history it would be if we could get to Wembley again. What a story! Because even if we didn't get promoted, which I still think is the number one priority for sure, it would be something to take from the season. And let's say we did manage to get to the semi-finals, we got and we won the playoffs. I mean, what a season that would be! What a lot of we get a lot of money for that as well. So
that's always the question with the FA Cup, which I brought up how we would attack it with the issues we're having in the league. That I think you only get a 1.5 million if you win the FA Cup. So if you lose in the quarters, it can't be that much. Obviously, balancing that with promotion, which is over 100 million. I mean, it is a business at the end of the day.
Yeah, it'd be great for the club. I mean, a lot of the clubs are struggling financially at the moment, especially the ones down in League One, League Two, and beyond, and even clubs in the Championship. But yeah, it was. I'm feeling really optimistic because from that Burnley game, I know Burnley didn't put out a full strength side. I don't think anyone was expecting them to. They're going to focus on the league. They want to remain a Premier League club. But I think going in there with no real expectation, they were going in there. They had no fear. They had confidence. As soon as they scored that first goal, which I thought was a lovely goal, and I feel like we'll take that into that Southampton game. Obviously, a lot can change from now to that game against Southampton. We could be in a completely different position, but having that game where it doesn't really ultimately matter it'd be great if we could get through, but ultimately it's not the end of the world if we don't. The league is the most important thing. I think is only a good thing because the players seem to just play like we want them to play, with confidence, with determination, motivated, and quick football. Like Brooks had a good game for the first time in a while, which is surprising because he's feels lost recently in Championship games. Ever since he won that Player of the Month award, it feels like he's been off the ball completely. So maybe that was the best thing that could happen to us, that FA Cup game.
Road to Wembley. Yeah, I'm thinking positively.
Yeah.
This is a quick reaction video, just to react to that draw, but I can't let you go without talking a little bit about Woodgate. He's had 2 games in charge, as he said, 2 wins. He got his remit done, what he was asked by the club. Firstly, what are your thoughts on Jonathan Woodgate, and would you give him the job now?
I wouldn't give him the job personally, and I don't think we will give him the job. I think that we want to bring in a manager that's had the experience of taking a team from the Championship to the Premier League. And just because I'm not saying Woodgate, because it's still possible if he gets a result against Forest, what's to say he might not be in contention for the top spot. But I think that, I think Wagner is he's the favourite, isn't he?
Well, I was just going to say that seems to have grown legs today or in the last few hours. And it seems, if all is correct on Twitter and what people are saying, that he is the front runner and there's a good chance he'll be the manager. What's your thoughts on Wagner?
Well, as I said, having a manager that has taken the team, Huddersfield, from the Championship and knows how hard it is in the Championship, got them up, got them to the Premier League, and I think, did they stay there one season? Am I right in saying that?
I think it was one. I mean, he did a good job to get them there, and they were very good in that first season. But a lot of teams are. You look at Sheffield United; they had a bounce going into that Premier League. It's always that second season that seems to trouble some teams, and I think Huddersfield did struggle in that second season.
Would you say, though, that trying to get out of the Championship is a harder challenge than staying in it? What would you say?
Oh, definitely. I mean, it's a horrible league to get out of. I mean, we said this at the start of the season, and he did get Huddersfield out of the Championship, and he did keep them in the Premier League for 1 year, but he couldn't cement them, like Eddie did for us for 5 years. His other jobs haven't quite worked out. I think he's recently been sacked by Schalke. I don't really know enough about it to know why. But
Schalke worked really bad in the Bundesliga, so that is something. But I mean, again, it's having that experience. And also, I saw something about him not having a great relationship with Billing. I don't know if that was just speculation or because obviously he played with. Billing played under Wagner.
He played under him at Huddersfield, yeah. Not sure. The only thing I can think that went in his favour with the interviews, because they said that a lot of CVs landed at the Vitality Stadium for the job, is that he coached under Jurgen Klopp, or they sort of got their certifications at the same time. And that's obviously, they're good friends, I believe. Now, whether he used that as part of his interview to say, look, I can lean on Klopp, or, I can, it's going to help me having someone like Klopp that I can, guide us back to the Premier League. I don't know, but I'm sure he would have used Jurgen Klopp in his interview. Would you say?
I mean, yeah, it's definitely a possibility. And having that connection there, he's clearly picked. Well, you'd hope he'd picked up something from working with Klopp and being close with Klopp. But I think one thing I am happy about is I'm glad to see Pulis off that list, because I got worried when he got up there, and also John Terry. I didn't want John Terry. I didn't understand the reasoning for John Terry. We just sacked a manager that hasn't had enough experience as a manager, and then we were potentially going to get someone that also hasn't had any experience as a manager. Yes, he's obviously been the assistant, but we don't want to make the same mistake twice. And I think bringing in a manager, also Nigel Pearson was up there. I don't know if that's still, and obviously Patrick Vieira. Vieira was a bit, he was terrible with Nice, wasn't he? He really, really struggled there. But still, he's still an experienced manager. So, and he's had some years managing, and obviously was a great player. But I think personally, it would go Wagner, Pearson, Vieira as my three, I'd say, and if it was going to be in that order, if those were the three.
So I've always broken it down to whether you go for someone that hasn't got the experience, but they played at the elite level and they could inspire some of those players at the club because it's a good squad, or you could go, and that could be someone like John Terry, Frank Lampard in those categories. I've even called people like Freddie Ljungberg up in that list as well. Sure. But then you've got the other side of it where they've done it, they've got the ticket, they've got teams promoted out of this league, your Pearsons. I mean, Rafa Benitez was probably a pipe dream, but, your Wagners. But the problem is, I think whatever the club decide to do, they're on a hide into nothing if it doesn't work out. If it doesn't work out with Wagner, why did you go for someone like that? If it doesn't work out with Vieira, why did you go for someone like that? And I suppose
it's a risk, and whatever happens, really, it's a gamble. We took the gamble sacking him, so we'll have to see what happens.
We'll have to see, but that seems to have grown legs today, and I'm sure we'll find out in the next day or two. But to wrap this up then, Dan, we've got Southampton at the Vitality Stadium. in the FA Cup quarter-final. Can we do it?
Yes, of course we can. Of course we can. We've got to stay optimistic. I think that's a really good game. I'm actually really happy about that. Yeah, really excited.
Nice and local, although they don't class us as rivals. But we'll see.
We'll
see what happens on the day. Dan, it's great to speak to you and see you as usual.
Yeah, you too. Thanks for having me on.
No worries. And I'll definitely have on Cherry's Red Army at some point again. And I'll speak to you soon and enjoy the weekend.
You too. Cheers.
See you later, mate. There we have it. AFC Bournemouth will play Southampton in the FA Cup quarter-final. Let us know your thoughts on that game and if Bournemouth can do it and can we make Wembley for the second time in our history. Make sure you like and also subscribe to the channel. Really appreciate it. We've just hit 200. Thank you for all your support. Let's keep going. And we might have some big news coming out in about a week's time. Maybe interviewing an ex-AFC Bournemouth player. Maybe. I'll let you know next week. Until the next video, see you soon. Up the cherries.